Before we get started, if you missed any of our episodes, you can always head over to kfoxtv.com/community/the-breakdown. Now let's break it down. Hi guys, I'm Brad Montgomery and welcome to The Breakdown. And here we talk about science, psychology, as well as investing. Today we're going to be talking about all things La Niña, how it can mainly affect our winter weather, but we're also going to talk about El Niño and how La Niña can sometimes possibly affect our summer monsoon. And I'm here with Katie Slusher, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, and we're going to be talking about La Niña. This is a La Niña, classified as a La Niña winter. I think I've been watching the tracker, and it's ticking in that way if it's not already ticked in that direction. Mm-hmm. So what is La Niña for those that don't know?
Sure. So La Niña is one of the phases of ENSO, also known as the El Niño Southern Oscillation Pattern, the other phases being El Niño and neutral. But we can think of El Niño being the warm phase and La Niña being the cold phase. And basically the difference between having cool water over the Pacific Ocean and warm water over the Pacific Ocean can cause changes in the trade winds. And that can bring as much of a difference between having a drier winter versus having a wetter winter season.
And, it's interesting. And it's funny how, meteorologists have kind of stumbled across this. And it's just, I feel one lucky thing about this field is they've been keeping data for so long. So once they started to make the correlation, they were able to literally go back and look like, oh my gosh, this was an El Niño winter. Oh my gosh, this was a La Niña.
Yeah.
So, and that's obviously data is king when it comes to so many things. That's one reason why it's so important to keep great data, because you don't know when you're going to need it and when you're going to need to correlate it with something. So that's what they found. So and this winter they're seeing cooler waters off the equatorial Pacific. And so for us here, what does that typically mean as far as what we can expect versus an El Niño? The El Niño winter, we get like last year, we had more cloud cover. What La Niña, what can it usually bring?
So for the borderland in particular, we can expect more warmer and drier conditions with the La Niña winter typically. But that I do want to caveat that doesn't mean that we won't get a cold spell or two. Well, it's still the winter time. It's still the winter season. We'll still get those cold spells and, maybe snow here and there. But over the next few months, we'll generally trend drier and warmer for La Niña.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you make that point because all it takes is one memorable cold front, and everyone's going to remember the winter. Now, the nice thing about it is here in the borderland, they generally last about 3 days, and then southwesterly winds kick them out and just kind of scour it out.
Yeah.
But yes. So, and I can't remember what year it was, but I do remember we had one La Niña here where it really fit the bill. I mean, it really fit the bill. It was sunny and blue skies like all winter long. I had some tropical plants out that I'd sprouted some, just kind of a lot of information about like plants, but I'd sprouted some little papaya seedlings. Really? And I had planted them underneath the overhang of the roof and they survived the winter.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? That's impressive.
That La Niña winter was very solid in its definition. I mean, it really held to it. So
wow.
I guess that's kind of the, if you like a milder winter, if you like 70s and crystal clear blue skies, I mean, then typically La Niña would bring that to us. So, and El Niño, obviously, the flip side of that can be wetter, can be snowier. Last year, we did see some precipitation in the winter. We didn't see snow, though. Snow was not a big factor. We had some flurries.
Yeah, it was like just flurries.
And that was about it. So now I want to talk about other parts of the country because what other parts of the country can have, it's again, like she said, it's not a guarantee, but can La Niña have a bigger impact on their weather?
In what way? Like
as far as precipitation.
Oh yeah, I know. During La Niña winters, typically the northern area of the United States and like especially New England, they do trend more wet and cooler up there.
So it's kind of a trade-off for them.
Yeah, yeah.
And so maybe more snow and cold.
Yeah, lucky for them.
Right, exactly.
If you like snow. I like snow.
You do? Okay. See, there you go. See, I'm not a huge...
No?
Once or twice. And
you're done.
That's enough for me. My daughter does like snow.
Really?
So I do... This is kind of... this is something that scientists have wondered about when it came to climate change, right? So we were looking at a pretty big jump in the numbers last year and the year before, right? And I remember there was some theorization that maybe